So we're talking about cast steel, which is hard steel. The lessons of a Marine aviator, things that you need to learn, okay? So you got to be able to communicate, right? You got to hold people accountable. You got to have that supervision, that Superman vision and X-ray vision, okay? You got to tell the truth. Always tell the truth, right? You got to have servant leadership, serve others. Let them know that you care about them. You got to have that team concept. A team concept so that if anybody's out, somebody else picks up the ball and runs with it and scores with it. Okay? E for empowerment. Give your people the power. And then set a standard of excellence, which is that second E. And the last one is life experiences. Now, the key thing about the life experiences, you got to use judgment, heart, and perseverance. And when that curveball of life comes at you, now the curveball could be an employee's spouse dying. Okay, it could be any type of life, divorce. It could be anything that people deal with, and whatever they're dealing with, if you can help them deal with it, then you will create loyalty. You can't just check your heart at the door. Nobody can do that. I mean, people put on a good face, right? And then you got the perseverance. But when you get that curveball, you got to step up to the plate and knock it out of the park. All right. I'm going to open it up for questions now. Who has questions about anything?
What about just plain good old-fashioned burnout? Like you're trying to help faculty or staff, and you're trying to get them to a certain place, but because of outside pressures, economics, all of these curveballs that keep coming your way, they just burn out. How can you help?
Who's this burn out? They are or you are?
Yes.
Both? Both?
Yeah, I think so. I think there comes a point when everybody just is going, why are we going to work again? So how do we help them in those situations? We've tried to reschedule, we've tried to change up loads, maybe change up classes, give them different days. I mean, give them different assignments, recommend that they do some things differently. I mean, but there comes a point when it's just not working.
Sometimes it's not a good fit. You might be trying to put a square peg in a round hole. I don't know. But sometimes that happens. Sometimes the best thing that can happen is for somebody to go someplace else and do something different. Happens all the time. 80% of the people are doing work that they hate to do. They don't like coming to work. Okay? So but the other thing is, assuming that that's not the situation, then you help them prioritize. And let's say you have a person that has been talking about burnout, and they've been talking about their child, okay? Not able to manage their child, and the child's got issues, and daycare and all sorts of kinds. That's the issue, okay? If you can help them, refer them to employee assistants or find some professionals out there that can help. So that way you're not spending all your time, and there's some things that a professional needs to handle that you can't handle, you know? Okay, does that answer your question? Because one of the things that I learned as I consult to different people is a large percentage of leaders don't have a good work-life balance, right? So that is important, because you can work 20 hours a day for a while, but at some point in time, it's going to be diminished. I mean, the healthiest thing to do is to work, exercise, do some other stuff, and have a balance, So if you don't take care of burnout, then people are either going to be non-productive and or disappear, if work balance is the issue. And getting professional help is realizing that I can't handle everything. But if I identify the problem, then I'm looking for some resources to help me with that problem. You can Google a bunch of stuff, refer to friends to get some information. Somebody's gone through the same thing. So whatever you're going through, there are others that have been through it. Other questions?
Oftentimes I talk with employees that say, well, when I worked for XYZ, I didn't have this problem. That was not their expectation. But my response is, you're no longer working for that supervisor. You must learn the expectations of your new supervisor. And people are different. As long as they are fair, as long as they are following the policies and procedures, you cannot compare the old with the new. Now, Claflin is getting ready to have a changing of the guard, a major leadership change. So, can you tell me some things that we may be facing with a new president coming in July?
One of the things I think is important is it's a two-way street. One is if you get a new boss or a new supervisor, right? I don't know of anybody that can be successful in an organization and not do what the supervisor says. It's just not going to happen. I don't know of anybody unless you got the supervisor that likes you for whatever reason, or you married to his or her daughter or something like that. Outside of that, you gotta meet the needs of the boss. You gotta find out what those needs are, and you need to deliver those needs. If you can't do that, you need to lead the organization. So the flip side of that is the leader needs to come in and understand that there's a transition and communicate that transition and share the expectations and say if that's not what you want to do, then we need to talk about it or see how we can get you someplace where you need to be.
Oftentimes, when new leadership, when they come in, they want to change everything overnight. They want to bring in a new staff and they want to do everything yesterday. How do you help that, or can you help it?
I'm a firm believer that no matter how good you are, you need some outside perspective. Okay? The best athletes use coaches. Because if I'm in something, I can't see it. If I'm bickering with my wife, I'm in it and I can't see it objectively. I don't care who you are. So a smart, good leader would come in and say, okay, who do I need to surround myself with that can help me see some stuff that I can't see? Might even hire an outside coach like myself, maybe. You know, you just never know. But so it's a two-way street. Other questions?
I've had some conversations with my staff and faculty saying, you know, sometimes this is what happens. Just we'll be ready for it. But don't take it personal. Don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. It's just a possibility. Yeah. And it's just based on what I've seen happen in the past.
Yeah. If I was betting, I would bet that Dr. Tisdale would hire somebody that can make a smooth transition. As smooth a transition as you could expect. Because he's a good leader, and that's what leaders do. One of the best things that a leader can do is prepare the organization for when they disappear, because they're not going to be there forever. And there are people, the smartest person in the room, some places the smartest person in this room, because they know everything, they leave, place sinks. A good leader will develop, just like I talked about that team, you're developing people, you're sharing the power, so that when one person is gone, it'll still function. Other questions?
When you were talking about the ways of communication, and certainly I agree, but the world is based on text messages and emails. So since this is the new trend, how do we make it more effective?
Video conference. It's not face-to-face, but it's close. You get to see the person. Yeah. But I think that so much of it is the person's preference. I mean, you can do it. I mean, the natural tendency today is to text, email, or whatever, right? But if you really believe that the best way to communicate is face-to-face or some combination of that, then you'll force yourself to do some of that. Okay? Getting together, having team building sessions periodically, something like that, or staff meetings, maximizing those. And if you can do a good job there to clearly communicate, then the window of misunderstanding for text and email is less. But the other thing is, communication is all about, if I'm a leader and I have created credibility with my organization and my people, then no matter what I say or do, that person will say, you know what? Carl has taken care of me in the past, and he said those things, but I know he likes me. I know he loves me. I know he's going to take care of me. Okay? So a lot of it is you communicate, and it's because you've been treating people badly. That's why so when they see something, they see an email, they go to the negative. They go to the dark side as opposed to going to the positive side. Other questions?
When we send out an email, normally our emails are important in terms of open enrollment, or either there's going to be a meeting and all employees need to attend. Is it feasible, or have you seen in the past where a particular department has a special color that identifies this is important, this is from human resources, this is important? So another department will probably have a different color. Have you seen anything like that in the past?
The key thing is to make sure that if you, let's say you code red, I need you to respond. Make sure that everything you put on there that's code red is really code red. Because if it's not, the people they're just gonna say, okay, the last time I opened this, it wasn't important, So, and then the other thing is making sure that you do a good job of communicating so that everybody understands the expectations. I'll use the example of a meeting. Okay, let's say you're having a meeting. Okay, if you have an agenda and you have expected outcomes and you have things that people are accountable for. Okay, so you have the meeting, you go out, people come back in the meeting, stuff gets done. Okay, then it's a high probability that people will come to the meeting because they know it's productive, right? And they also know that. And you can develop a reputation. You can develop a reputation where if I get something from so-and-so, it's important. And I need to look at it. So people make choices all the time, what they look at. Yes.
I started doing a rule. Like you can make a rule where it's just human resource, anybody's a human resource, mail goes there. And that'll be the one that is really important. Instead of all the other ones with certain events or something like that, they can just go to regular email. But then I actually have like everybody in my office, their names where all the mail go there, or like human resource, different ones that are really, really important that I may need to actually look at. And that way I'll get the alert each time the email comes in under that specific department or name.
And you created a system that met the needs of the people that needed the information. So whatever the needs are, you identify what the needs are and you create a system. It's a lot of different ways to get it done, but the key thing is whoever the customers are, it meets their needs.